There's no chance you're gonna work hard enough to achieve what you want unless you're in a good place. The reality of how life works, everyone's ambition is completely dictated by what's going on inside of them emotionally.
The power is in your perspective. The power, the difference between those who make something happen and those who do not is wrapped in the truth and in the power of their perspective.
When we broaden our perspective, we often realize that there's a lot more to the situation. Our problems shrink because we realize there's a whole universe out here that is much bigger than you. So it's like the ultimate way of broadening your perspective and helping you realize that, what you're going through, while still significant, there's more to it. There's more to life than this.
I think when you're in that space, one of the most difficult things to do is to actually get perspective. I only discovered I couldn't see clearly when I was with someone who could see clearly. And the first time I put on glasses, I realized leaves were distinct individual pieces on a tree. That's the difference between surviving and being alive. When you're alive, you see the details and the beauty and the wonder. A person who's just existing, every day they struggle with depression and fear and anxiety. They see everything that's missing. They are haunted by all their disappointments, and they have not one more disappointment than the person who's fully alive, and not one more challenge or struggle or hardship. But the person who's alive somehow sees beauty in everything, sees wonders, and that's what I know I'm alive.
Yeah.
When I'm going, man, you cannot bring enough difficulty in my life to steal from me the wonder of taking this next breath.
The fact that one human being can say one thing at the right second to another human being that can fundamentally change the process of their life because they have now decided to open up a different perspective and see the world differently is the most intoxicating, most powerful reason that human beings are the best in the world. And if you think the people that are using fear and negativity to get your attention and you're saying they're right, they're just selling you darkness and you're buying it.
Got this gorgeous story. He talks about how when him and his wife first got together before they were married, I think they were 23, 24, he said to his wife, that really was living, wasn't it? That really was the golden years. It's just so amazing. We used to lie in on a Sunday and we could go for lunch and do all the rest of it. His wife said, you were miserable. You hated it. You hated all of those things. In hindsight, you're able to see that the fears that captured you at the time were not worth having. But at the time, you have no certainty that those aren't salient. So what you see in retrospect is how you should have felt had you known what was going to occur.
If a person goes through something that's traumatic, the average person's perspective is going to go to a space and place. What did you lose? People very rarely will ask the question, man, what did you learn from it?
What did you gain?
What did you gain? Right? How did it make you a better person? I know it didn't feel good. That's obvious. I know it hurt, right? I know you didn't like it. It wasn't convenient. But what did you gain from it? I just want to know, right? From the loss, from the pain.
If I look back in my life, I'm 39 now, and I think about all the challenging moments, I wouldn't change any of them. There's some things that seem so painful that I didn't want to experience, but the lesson that I learned from them, the person I became by overcoming them, is so much more powerful than not having them. It's not until we can get through it and reflect on it, and we have hindsight. Oh, this taught me this lesson, or here's why this needed to happen, or...
The first step to change is examining your thoughts, paying attention to how you speak and how you act, and look at these emotions that keep you connected to the past and finally decide, does this emotion belong in my future? That is what drives us to our dreams, and you just got to be able to sustain that state of being independent of anyone or anything in your life. And if you can, get ready, because that's when your life changes. You're literally thinking differently, you're acting differently, and you're feeling differently. That's a new personality, and that means a new personal reality.
I tell people all the time, man, the easiest thing in the world to do is to be negative.
So easy.
Easiest thing in the world to do is complain. Easiest thing in the world to do is to quit. That's easy.
I pour my pain out onto the written page, and then I write about the good things, and that gives me that key word, which is perspective. Wow. There's that Persian proverb, I cursed the fact I had no shoes until I saw the man who had no feet.
And then if you start to think differently because you learn new information, you begin to make different choices. And if you make different choices, you can begin to do different things and behave in different ways, and you can create new experiences.
We see differently. Our perspective is different. And because our perspective is different, our outcomes are different. Our rewards are different.
So the greatest gift you could give yourself is, I believe, to make that decision and say life is too short to suffer. It doesn't matter what happens. You're going to find something to enjoy and appreciate.
Please keep life in perspective, because things could be a whole lot worse. So instead of complaining, do yourself a favor. Man, start counting your blessings. That's right, the best is yet to come. So please, remember, life is just perspective, man.
If you change the way you look at things, then the things that you see will change.
My name's Spencer Beach. I wouldn't change what happened to me. And that's the God's honest truth. If any one of you had a superhero ability where you could send me back in time and give me a do-over, I wouldn't accept it. I would gladly relive everything I have been through, provided I had this outcome. Because who I am now and what I offer the world, I wouldn't want to give that up to avoid going through those dark days or the pain I went through. I think it was all worth it to turn me into who I am now.
And one of the most important lessons in life that you should know is to remember to have an attitude of gratitude, of humility. Use what I have, use what you have to help others. You know, on your last day, you can't take it with you, but you can leave it here. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse.
I don't understand how people don't get that there's 7+ billion people, that there's so many people that have it worse than you.
But you got to start with gratitude that you're one of the richest humans on earth.
You're
It doesn't
preaching.
feel like it, but you are.
Preaching.
When you look back, these will be the golden years, right? When I had my health, I had my full mental capacity, I had control of my bladder, I had all of the money that I needed to do the things that I wanted, to crush it with my friends, to fly around America and film these podcasts, or to launch this book that I spend all of this time on. And you can even see it in the micro, you can even see it when you look back on stuff that you've done in your day-to-day business.
From a gratitude perspective, my most powerful frame for gratitude has been thinking about my 85-year-old self, waking up as my 30-year-old self, and all of a sudden looking at Layla and being like, man, I remember when we were this young. 85-year-old me would be like, I'm just not, my body doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I actually have energy. Like, I can think clearly. I don't have brain fog because I'm 85, right? And that has been probably my single most powerful frame on feeling grateful.
You have to be grateful for the ground that you've gained and guard the ground that you've gained. Celebrate the small wins.
Gratitude grows when you recognize that your time here isn't promised. It humbles you. It motivates you. It makes you look at the clock differently. Suddenly, 5 more minutes of sleep isn't worth more than 5 minutes of growth. Scrolling on your phone doesn't feel as important as checking in on your dream. Hitting snooze isn't as appealing as stepping into your calling. When you see waking up as a privilege, you start showing up like you mean it. You move like someone who's been chosen, not cursed. You walk like someone who's aware of the blessing. You talk like someone who knows that time is sacred. And that mindset, that awareness, that's what separates people who exist from people who live. I'm tired, it's too early, I gotta go to work. No, you get to wake up. You get to breathe. You get to chase your dream.
You're not gonna change anybody else till you change you. Everything really does begin with you. I found a lot of people pretty much that way. They've got an awful lot underneath the surface, but until they bring it out and take it to the marketplace, they will never realize even a minute fraction of the benefits that they could bring themselves, their families, their friends, their community, and everyone else.
When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary that you go for what is yours in the universe.
What is it? that I must become in order to manifest the vision that's beginning to articulate itself through me right now. What must I become? Where must I grow in my own life in order to be a vehicle for this transcendent vision that wants to express through me right now? There's a sacred law that you can't really have in your life what you're not willing to become vibrationally. What must I become? Where must I grow? Some people need to grow in becoming more loving or more self-loving. Where must I grow?
Who do you need to become to start the business? To move into the new location? To start traveling? To make new friends? To take up new hobbies and new investments and endeavors? To impact? Who are you going to have to become to build that philanthropic portfolio? To serve in areas you've never served? To see and to sow in places you've never been? Your destiny is linked to your identity. Your perseverance is not even about you. The future, the next generation, legacy, destiny is attached to this. It is only then that you will be able to manifest and become who you were destined to be.
The hardest part of making millions of dollars and being successful in business is becoming the person who is able to do the thing. That's the hardest part. Hardest part's not doing things that'll make you $1 million. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part is you becoming the person who has enough intestinal fortitude and grit to go down into the laboratory, the cave, the drawing board, whatever you want to call it, and obsess over this problem long enough to find an elegant, effortless, effective solution. That's the part. Because most people don't have enough intestinal fortitude, they don't have enough stick-to-itiveness, they don't have enough grit to last through the learning curve to become the person who can do the thing that makes them deserve to have the stuff. Yeah, even if you take a tree growing in a garden, you plant the seed in the ground. In order for the seed to become a tree, the first thing it must do is exactly the same as the first thing we must do when we're getting ready to go through our transformation. What is that? It must be willing to cease to be a seed. Unless I'm willing to cease being what I've always been, I can never become whatever I can't have the potential to become.
If I were to give people one single tool that would help them improve their lives, I would invite them to embrace the awareness and to use as a tool their consciousness that your life is not about you. It's about everyone else whose life you touch and the way in which you touch it. Everything that you hope to manifest in your life and searching for all the good things in life come to you automatically, almost without trying. That's all you'll need to transform your experience of who you are and to touch everyone else in life in a way that will allow them to begin to experience who they are.
I came to realize that it's not about me. The experience is yours, but the experience that people take from the content, you will never own. I will never know how much what I do affects people or doesn't. I'm not responsible for what happens with what is created once it's out in the world. The reason I was there was not to have a personal experience. The reason I was there was to make a film that could potentially shed light on an issue or teach something to people, because I was so busy worrying about being Mr. Program Maker and making this film that was perfect in my mind's eye. Whereas in reality, the conversation that was being had never been had before. And as a result, it actively changed lives of people watching. It literally changed the lives of people that messaged me. It wasn't about me. And being comfortable with that is quite difficult, but also quite freeing in a lot of ways.
People come to the work for all kinds of reasons, and I don't really care. But by the time they start doing the work, all they really want to do is give. Because when you feel so amazing and feel so great about yourself that you no longer want anything, the first thing you want to do is give. And it's just a practice. And as you do that and you start seeing all the fun things happening, it's not like, oh, I got to go create my life today. You're like, I got to go. because I don't want the magic to stop. So I just do it because I love the crazy, magical, wonderful things that happen that I would just never anticipate in my life. And so people are catching on to it, and they start coming for one reason. You know, they want money or they want health, but it's not about your money. It's not about your health. It's not about your new relationship. It's not even about the mystical moment. It's about who you become in the process, because overcoming all those limitations to become somebody else, nobody can take that away from you.
Your matters are the peace of the world. You are beyond yourself. You're greater than yourself.
The most important decision of your life is deciding whether you're truly committed to being happy no matter what. Because life is going to throw all kinds of curveballs at all of us. So the greatest gift you could give yourself is, I believe, to make that decision and say life is too short to suffer. It doesn't matter what happens, you're going to find something to enjoy and appreciate.
You find what you're looking for. You want to get sad? Go read all the negative stuff. It's there, unlimited. You want to be happy? Go find all the obnoxious amounts of free content around happiness, self-fulfillment, positivity. It's all there. Right. You find what you're looking for.
I'm not an advocate of toxic positivity or rose-colored glasses necessarily, but I do believe that you get to choose the thing that you're going to go looking for. And if you can get up and say, I'm going to go out and find some evidence of a good day, the likelihood of you having one is just higher.
That gratitude allows me to have perspective at the end of the day, as opposed to focusing on all the horrible things or the bad stuff. It brings me back to perspective that my life is amazing, even if it's horrible. My life is amazing, even if it's the worst day ever and everything's against me. I lose all my money and something else bad happens. It's still incredible.
You focus so much on the negative that you forget all the positive. And then when you do think about the positive, you're not putting the energy in the positive like you put in the negative. I know how to talk negative just like you know how to talk negative, but it don't work. It don't help nobody. Because if I put my energy into something negative, automatically my body's gonna respond and I'm gonna start doing negative stuff. I was homeless too. My father wasn't in my life too. I've been in struggles too. But I've come to realize that when you think optimistically and you speak positively, you can speak those things which are not as though they were. You can say certain things out your mouth and make it happen.
Positive thinking is not about being delusional. Positive thinking is about learning how to take control of internal processes and understanding that that will shape your external environment. But it's about remaining in control of the internal landscape. It's about knowing that despite shifts in the external landscape, you're gonna be okay.
This wave of betrayal, this wave of fear, this wave of grief, this wave of frustration, this wave of feeling stuck, this wave of feeling hopeless, it's temporary. It will come and it will go. And when you realize that emotions are temporary, it also gives you perspective to know that something better is coming.
One of my mentors, she had this business card that she used to give out to people. And it said that her greatest regret in life is trading in what she wanted in the bigger picture for what she wanted in that moment. And I always think about my life in that way of, is this what I want for the greater good, for my story to be, or am I acting out of a place of desire? Am I acting out of a place of wanting to change the way that I feel right now, knowing that that will hinder me? That's not really what I want. What place am I coming from?
Smart people like the idea of being cynical because it seems like you've considered all of the options. Only somebody that's a smooth-brained idiot would believe that things are going to go well, but it fails to recognize that your experience of your life is largely determined by the story that you tell yourself about it.
Well, I think it's the idea of going, look, you can change the way that you think about things. So I was thinking about things I can do this narrow bandwidth of things. My belief system, the assumptions I'd made about life. Well, you can get a job and you can work for someone. And after you get a job and you work for 40 years, you get a pension. And when you get the pension, I was on a conveyor belt. Sure. And suddenly I went, oh, I could believe anything. I could believe that I could do anything. I could believe that I could be the guy on the TV show telling jokes. and you can. What you believe dictates your life. You'll be the barrier. You'll be the thing that stops you.
Life itself is what we deem it.
That's exactly right. It is what we deem it. And so you have to be relentlessly protective of the information that you take in, the thoughts that occupy your mind, the people that you surround yourself with. Because all of those things are influence factors. Another Stoic philosopher once said that, you know, when you leave your house and when you come back that night, you come back as a different man. You're never the same man coming back, right? Well, you're either coming back as a better human, more transcendent, more aware, more connected, or not.
So every single day for me, it starts at ground zero. I'm humble and I'm listening and my mind is open. And this is what I've seen and this is what I can tell you about. Everything that I look at, I try and look at from a humble perspective. If you don't do that, it's going to be a problem.
Perspective is everything. Let's go. I need you to hear me loud and clear. How you see this thing is everything.
I just limited envy and jealousy, and I leaned into optimism and gratitude. If you're deeply unhappy, instead of blaming everyone else for it, put in the work to get out of it, because you can. I believe in people. I fucking believe in you.
How will you see the rest of your day? Because how you see the rest of your day will oftentimes determine the way you see the rest of your life.
I like to think about it as this. You can be two things at once. You can be jealous of somebody, and you can also allow that to inspire you at the same time. You can be afraid, which is true, and you can still find the willpower to push yourself or discipline to push yourself forward. Human beings are very complex, and when you start to understand you're not just one thing, it gives you freedom to ride the waves of feelings, to ride the waves of experience, and to kind of go down and go, oh, this is a terrible thing, and know that you will be able to come out the other side of it.
Every single good thing that happens in our lives, everything, comes at a cost. There's nothing for free. Somebody with an incredible career has no relationship with their kids. Everything comes at a cost, but at the same time, everything we struggle with has opportunity and lesson that goes with it. It's always balanced. And when something horrible happens in someone's life or something goes sideways, I always ask, but what did you learn?
Life is about the pain of being alive. And when you know that, I find that very helpful to me. When I come back to that, I'm like, I'm struggling, I'm disappointed here, I wish this outcome had been different. But when I can come back to like, oh, but that's what life's all about. So what do I do now? You breathe it, you experience it, and then you move on and you heal in the doing.
You've got to learn to be more resilient about these things because that is life. It's not a bed of roses. Life is tough.
And there's just a part of you, I think, in anything you're doing when you're struggling, is this really for me? Is this my destiny? Should I be doing this? And we misread failure from some sign. You know, is this a sign I shouldn't be doing it? You know, is this a sign I am, not cut out for this? Instead of looking for signs that you can win, right? And so I spent the first 5 years literally trying to find ways to quit, trying to find ways to get out, struggling. And I went broke. I lost a car. I had the water turned off in my place. People don't realize that there were just years and years of grinding and struggling and worrying in the beginning. And then I made some mental changes and some shifts that altered my life then again.
I think you can win. I'm positive you can win. You just need to start changing your mindset. It means that you need to look at yourself and figure out who you are. What are you good at? What do you like? How are you gonna get to the place that you wanna get to?
Success is waiting for you. Winning is waiting for you. Achievement is waiting for you because you are a winner. You are focused. You are determined. You are a fighter.
One of the hardest things, which became one of the greatest realizations, is truly coming face to face with myself and realizing that even though I have done extraordinary things in terms of my own thinking patterns, that there was a level to which I was still on the run, that I was darting off to a coffee shop or darting off to an airplane, and all of this racing around kept me from having to truly stop and stand with the woman in the mirror and just be still and figure out, what do I really want?
You're a person, you're human, you're alive, and you matter.
You know, you're going to battle with internal things within you and external things. But if you keep going, you're going to eventually slay your dragons and you come out the hero of your own life and you have something to share that isn't bullshit. It's not something you read somewhere. It's something you've lived.
Something you want.
And everybody can feel you've lived it because it's a different level of ownership, you know? And then, by the way, as soon as you do that, it happens again. You know, you're called on another journey. You have a new level of challenge that you need to go on. It just never ends, but it makes life really, really beautiful.
How can people who are always very hard on themselves learn to build up their self-esteem a little bit more?
I don't know if self-esteem is the answer. You know, I don't think it's bad to be hard on yourself, as long as you also celebrate when the victories happen. But you know, so many people will tell you, I have poor self-esteem because when I was a kid, people said this to me and that to me. And it's convenient that we remember those things and not the positive things that also occur, obviously. But I think it's more important is to realize that self-esteem is earned. It's only earned by you with yourself. You're not going to get self-esteem because everybody praises you. Someone can tell you your whole life that you're brilliant, you're a genius, you're beautiful, you're handsome, and you not believe it. Someone can tell you, you know, you're a piece of crap and you're never going to become anything, and there's a part of you can say, I'll show you, as many people have, and then they develop drive out of it, right? So it's really, self-esteem comes from doing incredibly difficult things where you know you pushed yourself. It's not virtue signaling, it's not telling people about it. It's what you know inside your soul is true. And the more you do things that are incredibly difficult, and especially things that are meaningful, meaning they're not just about yourself, the higher that esteem would be. I think the most important thing for self-esteem is to find something you care about more than yourself. If you find something you care about more than you won't be thinking about yourself all the time, and all your bullshit self-esteem just goes out the window. The real question is, what do you want? If you want an extraordinary life, my definition of that is life on your terms. Some people, it's 3 beautiful children, a white picket fence. Some people, it's building a multi-billion-dollar business. Somebody else, it's writing poetry. Instead of looking for somebody else, it's like, okay, what do you really want from your life?
What happens when I decide for myself that I'm gonna do something different? Because yeah, nothing changes and nothing changes, man.
Lots of people will spend a lifetime doing the right things, like trying to journal, pray. They develop a morning routine. They try to focus on positive thinking. They go to the right seminars. They try to put themselves in the right rooms. And they can't seem to maintain that elevated emotional state because their physiology is dragging them back down into the state where you most comfortably exist. Rather than learn to cope with what you have, why don't you dig in and get rid of it?
Takes guts. You got to dig down deep to gut it out. Keep on going again and again and again until you make it happen, because you know that it's possible. So what I want you to do is think about something you want for you, that's real for you, that's important for you, that will give your life some special meaning and power.
You have the power to create meaning in your life rather than passively look for it. Meaning to me is, do I know more about the world today than I did yesterday? And if that accumulates and accrues daily, in a month, you know way more than you did than just that day later, so that you continue to grow.
Most people operate out of their personal history, out of their memory, things they've done, things they've experienced, things they've seen, things that they have observed. What I'm suggesting that you operate out of a larger vision of yourself. I want you to see yourself doing what you want to do, having what you want to have, doing what it is that gives your life some meaning and value. Operate out of your imagination, not your memory.
And it's so much easier to make the same choice every single day. And the hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. You're going to feel uncomfortable. So some people would rather tell the story of their past instead of telling the story of their future. They'd rather believe in their past instead of believe in their future.
If you actually just make little promises and keep little promises to yourself, it is amazing what it will do for your confidence level, your self-esteem, and could entirely change the trajectory of your life. You keep breaking promises to yourself. I'm gonna work out the first thing tomorrow morning. I get up, I get on my phone, I miss the workout. And that is the most detrimental thing for our psyche.
If you want to know something about yourself, sit on your bed one night and say, my life is not everything I want it to be, and perhaps it's not everything that I need it to be. What's one thing I'm doing wrong, that I know I'm doing wrong, that I could fix, that I would fix? You meditate on that, you'll get an answer. And it won't be one you want, but it'll be the necessary one.
Well, most people, ladies and gentlemen, when something happens to them, what they do is they begin to believe that that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. And they can't see the possibility of it being any different.
No one ever told me that I had to search for meaning in life to begin with. It was, I got my life, this is who and what I am, this is what I did in school, these are my dreams, ambitions. How do I create meaning in my life as I go forward? My first question of me wasn't, where do I find meaning? It was, how do I create meaning? And that started early.
I know one day I'm gonna be somebody. You'll know when Please look at my face. You're somebody now. I was somebody long before people knew who I was, and I believed that. You're somebody now.